May 5th, 2018. It's the destiny of all organic things to eventually go rotten. And while my morality didn't bother me the least, I hated how short-lived fruits are, especially bananas. Maybe I'm just a crazy man obsessed with perfection and the genius Musa, but whenever I buy a bunch of bananas, I observe it almost hourly, so I can eat them at the pinnacle of their sweetness without compromising the texture. Nothing upsets me more than a slightly green banana or a recently blackened banana. I wake up in the middle of the night to check on them, because usually by the morning they're ruined and too dark. It's a tricky combination of temperature, conditions of storage, and even luck. I only managed to eat a flawless banana a few times in my life, but I've been eating very good bananas and taking notes about them. Whenever the bunch is good, you have to eat them all immediately, because this moment of spotlessness is short and fugacious. My love for bananas and my pursuit of prolonging their deliciousness are the main reasons why I studied biochemistry, and after graduating with honors, decided to accept a job in a startup focused on sustainability. I could be making bigger bucks like my friends, but I did something I was passionate about, something that mattered. After years of research, my team and I were able to create a formula that freezes the natural decay of organic matter without altering its other properties. The samples were looking pretty good. We were able to prevent cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, and 3 types of grape to mature past a point. So instead of getting overly ripe, they stopped at the perfect amount of mellowness for 5 weeks. You know what this means? 5 weeks of delicious bananas while sleeping for 8 uninterrupted hours a night. Imagine how many fruits and vegetables can be saved if they last more. Imagine how much money people can save by not throwing things away because they bought too much or forgot to eat them. And imagine how many perfectly delicious bananas I'll be able to eat. Thinking globally, we can stop desertification due to unbridled and reckless use of soil and decrease starvation. Produce less, produce smart. Our formula still isn't financially viable, but we hope to fix that within the next 2 years. July 13th, 2018. I brought a bottle of our amazing elixir home, and for weeks my biggest entertainment was spotting the very moment the bananas were perfectly ripe so I could freeze them in time. I was successful with the bananas too. At the lab we started experimenting with cantaloupes. It's good fruit, but once it's too ripe it becomes a tasteless bomb of water. The first tests weren't great, the samples just kind of fell apart. It was surprising since both the cucumber and the cantaloupe are part of the same family. Maybe some species have particularities and need a slightly different formula to work. This decreased the team's morale. We had been on a streak of successes so far, so it was pretty disappointing to see our first failure. Maybe the serum isn't safe yet, Henry. I know my assistant meant well, but I couldn't admit this possibility. The bananas are perfect. The cucumbers, tomatoes, and grapes are perfect. But the problem is the cantaloupe, fine. I'm sure the hungry can survive without everlasting stupid melons. July 24th, 2018. I couldn't think of anything to increase the morale in the lab, so I asked for my girlfriend's help. Women are great at these things, right? I had to give Julia a little backstory of our research. It's amazing to see such a beautiful girl interested in my job. She asked if we plan on using it on meat too. I said, sure, maybe in the future. What a fantastic input. I hadn't thought of that yet. I mean, sometimes we just have to get the help of a creative mind outside the scientific community. I know that if I can successfully preserve fresh meat, the team will be very excited about our research again. September 6th, 2018. I performed the first test on meat alone at the lab, because I don't want to ruin the surprise for my coworkers. Nothing happened. I mean, literally nothing. The meat didn't fall apart like the cantaloupe, but it started to get darker and smell bad as it naturally would in a few days. I've been pulling a few all-nighters to get this work done. I tested various parts of beef, chicken, pork, lamb, goose, and some fishes. all of them showing no reaction at all. It was like spraying tap water on them. I kept each one of the samples for a while in the hopes of having some kind of breakthrough, but that didn't happen. I'm getting upset, as the team's morale is still pretty low. What will I do with my life if the project I've been working on for years is discontinued for not being good enough? September 15th, 2018. Still no progress with cantaloupes or meat. In fact, the opposite happened. A few days ago, I suggested we try to use a watermelon just for fun. It wasn't fun. Instead of simply falling apart, the watermelon fucking exploded yesterday. One of the employees got hurt, but fortunately it was nothing serious. I'm ashamed beyond words, but we'll keep trying. Hell, I'll keep trying if the rest of the team doesn't believe in our serum anymore. The bananas, cucumbers, tomatoes, and grapes are still being perfectly preserved. We always use a successful species as a control group to the quality of the serum. And my formula is flawless as always. I took the day off today. Last night while working alone, I thought I saw something strange, but it must have been my stressed and exhausted mind playing tricks on me. It had to be. Please. September 24th, 2018. Oh god. It wasn't the stress. Something unholy is happening. Why the fuck didn't we listen to Pasture? The guy knew something others didn't. My assistant Nellie and I just saw with our very own eyes spontaneous generation happening. I kept the meat samples in a sterile, air-sealed container. After around 5 weeks, they just started to not generate, but become larvae and flies. We both cried in panic and asked each other if we were actually seeing that. There was no doubt our brain wasn't deceiving us. I took a video of it, but the last thing I want to show it is to someone else. I made Nellie promise she wouldn't tell anybody about what we just experienced. There's no evidence that the serum isn't safe on fruit and vegetables, right? We have stuff that's lasted for months, and after that the samples simply kept maturing normally until they finally went rotten. We performed tests and they were identical to samples that went rotten in the normal time. I'll just develop a whole new formula for meat. Or give up on this idea. Completely preserving meat was never the plan, and I won't pursue it after something that bad happened. But Nellie's obviously terrified, and I know that she'll end up letting the cat out of the bag. The girl doesn't have a bad bone in her body, and she's also a bad liar. I really needed Julia's emotional support today, but she hasn't been texting me back or answering the phone for a week. I'm afraid that I ended up upsetting her somehow, but honestly by now, I'm more worried that something bad happened to her. September 25th, 2018. Fuck. Can things get any more worse? This is not a challenge, universe. Yesterday I realized one of my bottles of the serum was missing. I immediately went to Julia since she's the only person with access to my apartment. I let myself in to find her. I don't even know how to say this. Transformed. She's in a vegetative state, I think. Definitely no pun intended, but she's paralyzed. She's breathing, but nothing else. She doesn't blink, and her eyes are perpetually open, as well as her mouth in the middle of a scream of surprise. She's horribly dehydrated. I really like Julia and feel awful that this happened to her, but I'm utterly pissed that she stole something dangerous and experimental from me. Silver lining is, she works from home and her family lives in another state, so I was the only one to realize she's been missing until now. But I don't know what to do. Julia used the serum on herself so she could stay young and beautiful forever. Now I'm pretty sure she's going to die. September 30th, 2018. I just wanted perfect bananas. Just perfect bananas. I didn't mean to hurt anybody. Julia is still paralyzed, of course. The lab is probably being closed due to today's incident. Right now, I have nothing to live for but my love for bananas. The unperishable bananas I dreamed of caused all of this mess. Well, yesterday, a member of my team named Brendan Pierce decided to prank his friend Aaron. Brendan is only 21, one of those kid geniuses, but instead of being some sort of Jimmy Neutron, he's immature to the point of being an asshole. Aaron and him were inseparable, though. I'm scared to even report too much on my personal diary, but Brendan made Aaron eat one of those dismantled cantaloupes as a joke. The poor boy Aaron, dismantled as well. It's like his body dissolved from the inside. It was horrifying to watch. He just became the sort of water bomb and just liquefied. I didn't even know what to do, so my only reaction was abandoning the scene with the rest of the team. Beside Brendan and I, there were 3 other witnesses. Closed the entire floor and reported to my superior. She was at a loss too. It was the first time I was in contact with the council board from the lab, and it wasn't pretty. There were a lot of screaming, swearing, and anxious calls. Everyone from my team and my supervisor were forbidden to leave a room for 6 hours. We weren't provided psychological assistance since the board's only concern was to cover up the horrible incident. Brendan couldn't stop sobbing. I feel terrible for the boy, but truth be told, I feel worse for myself and the rest of the team, especially Aaron. I hope he didn't feel much pain, but his poignant screams while dissolving say otherwise. Then after all this hell, some people in black scrubs and gas masks came to take what's left of Aaron. They made us sign a lot of non-disclosure papers, and for all the effects, Aaron is missing, not dead. October 10th, 2018. They gave us a long vacation and a generous amount of money, and just like that, the whole department was closed. I brought Julia's paralyzed body to my apartment. She's just there the whole time, unblinking, unmoving, just like a breathing, flesh statue. I keep her hydrated and clean, but other than that, there's nothing I can do. I'll keep taking care of her for as long as she lasts, but I know that eventually her family will realize she went missing. I consider Julia dead and gone, and honestly, this isn't even on my top 10 worst concerns. I know it's insensitive of me, but there's so much bad shit happening. She was a sweet girl, and I really liked her, but she brought this upon herself. At least I don't need to start looking for a new job right now. I feel like I'm going insane, and I can't handle it, and on top of it, I feel physically ill. My hair is falling almost completely from stress. I'll never be the same again. I can't tell anyone. I keep seeing Aaron dissolving again and again right in front of my eyes. October 18th, 2018. I wish Julia was dead. It would be so much more merciful than what happened to her. She came back to normal the day before yesterday for exactly 20 minutes. My girlfriend couldn't stop screaming in horror. The only thing I was able to comprehend was that she was conscious the whole time. It must have been awful, and I was ready to make arrangements and send her to a good psych ward. But she's gone. Just like the meat, she became larvae and flies after 5 weeks. She opened her mouth and thousands of them came out of it. As it happened, her body withered like a deflated balloon. Saying it was nightmarish is an understatement. It was the most disgusting, disturbing, revolting thing I ever saw. Then just like Aaron, what remained of her simply fell apart, a disgusting mass of partially liquefied flesh. Obviously her screams and mine attracted a lot of attention in my building, as well as the abnormal amount of insects. I was arrested, but since there was no way to prove I killed Julia, the causa mortis couldn't be determined, and they didn't find anything else besides her DNA. I'm on bail. My life is pretty much over, but I really want to find out what will be the next development. Right now, I don't consider myself human anymore. I'm just a scientist. December 20th, 2018. I'm back to the starting line. I'm just a man obsessed with bananas. Still have a few bottles of the elixir, and maybe it's a mistake, but bananas are what keep me going. No one has access to my home anymore. Nothing happened. Nothing ever happens. I'm at my parents' house for the holidays. I think I was followed here by one of those people in black with gas masks, but I could be paranoid. January 23rd, 2019. Ever since I came back, I keep finding purple goo in my house. I'm scared. I'm being medicated for a variety of mental disorders, but I can never tell the truth to my doctors. Mostly just sleep the whole day, a tormented sleep with restless dreams. I feel like I'm fading away. February 12th, 2019. All the charges against me were dropped, and Julia's remains were taken by the men in black. It was nice of them to do it, but there's no purpose. being free or in jail, dead or alive, to me it's all the same. There's purple goo everywhere. I don't have the physical strength to get up and clean it. May 27th, 2019. I've been blind! Blind! It's the bananas. The purple goo comes from the bananas. One after another, they're just exploding, becoming this unholy antimatter. I don't know what they are. I don't know that. I just know that very soon I'll explode too. Life is so funny. You dedicate your everything to do something nice and useful, and you end up exploding people all around you than yourself. Life is funny. I'll call them Z-nanas, just like on that Mario Party game. With what I thought was the last of my strength, I got up and looked for my Geiger counter. The fucking thing went crazy. Our formula increased the natural slight radioactivity of bananas. Been exposed to these bananas the whole time. Yeah, they're exploding into purple radioactive goo. I'm condemned. I am so fucking condemned. This is so funny because bananas were about to go extinct and suddenly they are the ones killing us. June 30th. 2019. Now I'm vomiting purple goo. I might as well just be on the death row asking for bananas as my last meal. I hope it's peaceful and it's my time to go. I hope it's quick and the suffering actually ends. I'm an autopsy technician at Redacted. The above was the entire contents of the patient's diary. The organization has been following this man close, and he clearly knew he was about to die, which was fortunate, since he exploded into purple goo, but did it quietly at his home. I shouldn't be posting this, but whatever. It's the destiny of all organic things to eventually go rotten. I've been vomiting purple goo after I had contact with him. Anyway.